Hey, and welcome to this Victory and Glory Napoleon gameplay video. If you love the Napoleonic era, then don't miss a minute of what's coming up. Well, hey, welcome back to Victory and Glory Napoleon. Now, what you just saw is me checking to see if the video is playing back because I'm afraid I've recorded some some videos, two of them without any commentary. I had a little technical glitch. They should be in-game sounds, but there are no commentaries. So we got to talk about that as it plays. And yes, it's working. There's the in-game cursor going. So before we get too deep into it, hey, if you've been following along, and even if this is let me go ahead and pause that for a moment. This is such a screwed up situation where I'm actually commenting on the game after it had been played. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification, like and share, and leave me a comment. Okay, right now I am in game commenting on the composition of these two armies. There should be Russians and Prussians, and that is uh, Russians, Prussians, British. Both of them are shattered. Both of them are. They don't have a good combined arms. They're very weak. We lost 6 or 8 units over the course of 3 battles, at least six. Um, and that's really hard. That's the French. I think I said in the game. Go ahead and hit this. That this game is kind of like a roguelike. It's always gonna. It's trying to kill you the whole time, and I think it can be won, but you got to outlast it. You can't put opponents down and and never worry about them again. You have to worry about them all the time. Right now, we've got Austria neutral, but we're still at war with Prussia and Russia, and we've got to fix that. We have a cool card. We'll be seeing that here before too long, called the Treaty of Tilsit. That if we can get the Prussians put down before too long, um, that we will. Here we go. Looking at some cards. Let's pause that for a second. We will put them out of the fight. You can see French troops must occupy Hanover, Westphalia, Mecklenburg. These regions will join the empire. You'll gain 4 German units. Prussia moves down to space 3 on diplomatic track. Well, you know what? If you're at war, you don't worry about the diplomatic track. So what we want to do, and what we will do, before it's all said and done, is create the Kingdom of Westphalia while the game is still playing. Also have new general emerges, which we need because we have reinforcements that have to move, and recruit minor nation in Italy, which moves Italy down the diplomatic track, but that's okay. We're going to do that. I don't mind if Italy gets irritated with me, but I don't want to irritate Austria, at least not to at war with them. So anyway, let's get that rolling again, and let the is that working? Yes, it is. So I'm sure this is a part where I'm yammering on just like I did before. And we're going to get out of here in just a moment and get back into the game. And yep, that's how it all works. I'm sure I had intelligent things to say. I actually say at least one intelligent thing every day, and I try to save it for you guys in the video. So we're going to examine all this. Oh, we're going to get in the clunky interface, and yep, that's where we'll create. And those are vital. Those 2 artillery units and those 3 infantry are really critical. And we've got to figure out where they go. I end up sending the artillery south and the infantry and artillery to the north to meet up with those armies that have been beaten up so badly. So right now it's what do we do? What do we do? It's going to be end up being reinforcing um, Napoleon and attacking that British army. Um, if I recall correctly, but I'm sure we'll find out here uh, momentarily while I chatter. I chatter a lot in game, but it's a lot harder to chatter afterwards. Okay, we're looking around, we're figuring it all out. Yeah, look at that, look at that. One thing's interesting about one thing that's interesting about uh, doing it this way is that I'm actually seeing the game rather than playing the game. And it's apparent to me I might be just a little bit twitchy. Maybe I need to be a little more deliberate about how I move this map around. I think at this point I'm discussing how nasty it is that the British can't move anywhere. Okay, now this is important. Let's pause just a moment. Austria's got a 4 diplomatic rating. We've got 4 diplomatic rating. We've got 1 influence point, political point. The British have none. So here's the key. I'll kick this back off. We don't want to irritate the Austrians, so we want to use our influence to keep them out of the war. And I don't think I use this here. I might. I get a cool card later that helps a lot. Uh, but we're going to continue to struggle with the British over Austrian participation. Okay, time to do some things. Recruit those troops in Italy, which Milan counts as, and take some cavalry, take some infantry. Is a good idea. I actually had a good idea there. All right, and then drop that general there because we need to send those guys in different directions. And we only got 4 activations left. Let's see how. I'm trying to remember what I did, but I don't remember exactly how I did it. So let's see what I do. Talking about where they need to go. Bottom line is that infantry's got to go reinforce those 2 armies that over in the east, and the artillery needs to go south because Messina, I think, doesn't have much in the way of infantry or artillery. Okay, and we're going to check our political situation again. That's exciting. Let's go ahead. I guess, maybe I should play more and talk less. Uh, there is some value to this that I really am seeing what's going on. Okay, it's time to reinforce Napoleon, right? Oh no, this time to create the Westphalia. So we send Bernadotte to Mecklenburg. We send Marmont to Westphalia. And then we pop that card. And that just really pisses them off. But we don't care. We gain infantry and artillery and cavalry. Nice. And see, Prussia was at a 0 anyway. It's actually a brilliant move, if I do say so myself. So now, I think we need to, well, I know what I need to do. I need to reinforce Napoleon. But we're going to see exactly how this breaks down. I'm sure at this point I am having all sorts of incredibly intelligent things to say. This is a cool game. I think I said this already, but I'm an old guy, so I don't remember what I said 2 or 3 minutes ago. I truly do like it. That army does not have much. I mean, it's got 1 cavalry unit. It really will be easy to beat up. The question is, what do we do about those British? We don't want them going home. We want to get the biggest pain in the ass that the British have is that they can move armies, big armies from the north to the south, land anywhere. It's a nightmare. It would be just delightful since they've been so foolish to get their army caught up in Northern Europe. It would be so delightful to put them in a world of hurt. Now, they're better balanced than the other army, but they're very small. And if I recall correctly, the AI does some pretty cool stuff here. But like I said, we're going to wait and see. Finally, here comes the send Napoleon line infantry because this is what he needs. And there we go. Now we've got a good balanced force with Napoleon and a very weakened force in Berlin with him. We don't have that way cool card that lets us reinforce, was it Grand Armée, whatever. No, Corps d'Armée. Corps d'Armée. I can't speak French. That lets us reinforce during a battle. But we do have an army that can beat anything that's in front of it. So now we're just waiting for me to make a decision what to do, and it's go get the Brits. Now, once again, the enemy has tried to make its left strong by making sure it has a fully balanced position. but it's weak because it's small. But the weakest position is not that one. The weakest position is on the enemy right, our left, where they have absolutely no combined arms. So I think what we're going to see here is a refuse the right and slam them in the center and left and look to break the army. So we go through my standard setup of 2 infantry, artillery, and cavalry. Yes, I wave the cursor around. That'll show them. Guard artillery, cavalry, line infantry, guard artillery, infantry. Where's my cavalry? There it is. And let's play the round. One of these days. There we go. We've got 12 activations. They've got 10. And what do I choose to do here? It's probably I'm going to attack, let's see, in the center, right? I want to get rid of that, if I remember right, get rid of that cavalry or probably the artillery. Yep, Russian heavies. British heavies. Let's go get them. It's not as good an attack, is it? No, it's a better attack. That's clearly the one. We want to break up their combined arms. Unfortunately, it didn't work. All right, so now we move up to support before he gets an attack. Too late, he managed to get one. Force us in the square. That's depressing because bad things happen to infantry in square against guys who can shoot at them. Beautiful part of the game. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get these guys, force them in the square, and move up to support before he can counterattack, we hope. All right, now our guys have full support. We've got 4 activations left. Screwed up. Use 2 of them, moving reserves behind the lines, and use 1 and disrupt the enemy. All right, here I think I get sad. Oh, disrupted. Oh, good, disrupted. I think I lost. I know I lost stuff in this. Just don't recall when. Okay, you can't ask for better than that. We were able to advance, cost us some disruption, but we're in position to strike. Our left, his right is isolated. We attack in the center because we fear them more, being able to force us in the square. And we got him, but he's still got guys who can shoot, and they give us grief. There's nothing more precious in this game than this French line infantry. Losing one makes me very sad. All right, we don't have much to worry about there now. They're done. So it's time for us to get on with the rest of the fight. And the cavalry overran disrupted infantry. And the guard artillery routed the Prussians that were in square. And in go the French line. Shooting at the guy who has not acted yet, so he'll be less effective. He'll be disruptive when he does. Okay, we might as well shoot here, right? Or there, right? Or there, right? And shooting at Prussians. We got rid of them. It's a beautiful thing. Routed them. Now you see he was able to move that infantry from the left, his left, to the center because we don't have him pinned on our right. Outstanding. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that a beautiful thing? Move up our reserves and charge him because it's fun. It didn't do us any good, but we charged him. Now he won't be able to move that guy to the center. We've pinned him. And we fight the next round. And it looks like we can break the enemy right. But we can't. Goodness. Sure would have been nice, huh? Oh well, looks like we're going to have to do it somewhere else. Put him into square, now we've got to disrupt the infantry, and that in square, he died. He just went down for and that's it. That's the battle. Now comes the coolest part of the game. Pursuit. He has nobody to oppose us. We killed the rest of his army. I don't think we killed General Generic, though. For the cost of one infantry, we blasted that, including the British. Well, some of them got away. Oh well, nothing to speak of. All right, we're all happy. We've got one activation left. And then the AI does something kind of interesting here before it's all said and done. And we've got to do something here, don't we? And I don't recall what I did, but we're about to find out. Right now I'm saying these guys need to go here, those guys need to go there, da-da-da-da-da. Let's break out him. Let's break out that artillery. And send the infantry and artillery on its way. Should be time for a turn. Oh, we got to do a heavy cavalry. Yeah, we got to go find the right guy. Now, at this point, you have to understand that the game is actually pretty sophisticated, and having nothing but heavy cavalry is a bad idea. You need light cavalry for scouting to help prevent your enemy from retreating, or to screen when you retreat. At least that's what I've been able to tell so far. So you want to have that high-low mix. And right now I'm saying, golly, look, I've already got mostly heavies and mediums here. I don't want to have no light cavalry, so not him. Not him at all. What about him? And what about him? And we just got a lot of talking to do and thinking. But the bottom line is I'm trying to decide where that heavy cavalry is most needed. And I think we end up, well, it's just, taking some time. And, this is really revealing what you guys are having to watch. I'm going to have to think about my production values. Take the heavy cavalry. And DeVoe gets it. Okay. Nothing to do here. And 0 activations. Let's go. Now, they play forced march. This is actually quite brilliant and scary. It's not much of an army, but it's a lot bigger than I am. So, we decide, no, time to go. And we pull it off and retreat to Pomerania, which is a good thing. The British reinforce their fleet in the Gulf of Marseille. This is very bad. Military reform means that their command ratings go up for the generals, and their infantry and cavalry ratings go up. They basically go from these lousy 1s to 2s. So we're now in a position where our enemies outnumber us, and they also have, at least in Russia and Austria, a qualitative equivalence in their line infantry and cavalry. It's very, very difficult because of that. You got to play smart. All right, it's time to reinforce Napoleon. We got 6 activations. Napoleon's got to go bump off that army in Berlin. And we're running out of time. you've only got 3 turns from the time you kill 7 Russians to play Treaty of Tilsit. And at this point, I don't know how many we had knocked off, but there's still Russians there. And we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. Then we're going to have to we'll see how that works out, because right now I know that that's all I was chattering about. That army is out of balance. Napoleon's army will destroy it. Great Britain's got 2 political points. That's bad. They're going to be pushing Austria. We've got to get a win in here. We've got to knock off. And he retreats. That's okay. We will consolidate our forces. Incorrect move. I'm good at that. It's one of my best things. All right, we're sitting there at 33 in Berlin, and we begin moving our reinforcements to the frontiers. Out of activations. I don't think there are any cards to play. Somewhere along the line here, I think I start looking at the score, and the score is really, at least it will be, very lopsided once Prussia goes down. And we wait for me to make up my mind in game. Time to play a turn. Now, that's tough. The Grand Duchy of Warsaw will be ours if Treaty of Tilsit goes off, but forced march is just too good, and I believe that's what I take. Yeah, force march is just one of those things. It's just 2 units way the heck out in the east. We're taking force march. Now you see Austria, and he tries to get them to come over, but they prefer neutrality. And that's a very good thing. All right, the British are moving by sea. They're going to consolidate an army. But it doesn't matter. We win. We win. It's too good to be true. All right, so we drew a heavy cavalry and that minor nation. I just haven't found a lot of use for that card. Maybe I haven't played enough. All right, we need to remember at some point, now the Russians are retreating because Prussia is now neutral. And we'll be friendly neutral for a year, so we can stay in their territory. And now, that's awesome. What a great card. All right, Grand Duchy of Warsaw is ours, and the score is outrageously, and that was not a good idea. The score is outrageously lopsided. Okay, we've got 5 political points from playing from the win we had in Concordat, if I remember correctly, since I screwed things up in the middle of the video. And we need to now do what we can to keep Austria under control. And lots going on here. Lots going on. Okay, what do we got to do? What do we got to do? We need to fall back, consolidate, reinforce, and be careful of our politics. That's what's going to happen. And I'm still chattering on about this, that, and the other. Yes, I know I can't do that. I just click wrong all the time. And we just, get this going here. Got to look at these armies. Davout's army is really pretty pathetic. It's all allies. It's got a fair balance, but it's like a It's like a weak army that faced us earlier. Now I'm trying to decide, do I go to Denmark and kick those guys' butt? Do I wipe the British out? These guys, you see how good they've come? All of a sudden, they've got infantry out the rear end that is as good as ours. And we've got a lot of allied infantry that is not so hot. You can see that even the Russians have grown some real live infantry. So things have gotten just dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. We cannot afford to take on two of these powers simultaneously. And I don't recall what I did here. I guess I wasn't too worried about the heavy cavalry. A lot of conversation, but bottom line is I need to go after those British. And how to do that, right? I'm sure the discussion I was having. Where do these guys need to go? But that army there needs to be killed. That army needs to be wrecked. What I don't recall is whether I did that, but I think that comes in the next video. I'm sitting here trying to remember how this broke down, but it's really critical that the British don't get off with that army, that they don't take it home. And we're looking good. Spain's in great shape. Russia's in great shape. Even Prussia's looking good. So what we don't want to do is give the British any resources they need to work the politics against us. We're going to have to get real sly politically. But we do need to go get that British army. And the more I watch this, I get kind of twitchy in these games, don't I? All right, we've got 3 activations. Still trying to decide where these guys need to go. I don't recall how far along this is. Oh, we're coming down to the last few minutes, few seconds, I guess I should say. 25:44. So we're not going to see the end of this before the end of the next videos where we do that. So this has been interesting. It's a little awkward. I apologize for the uh-oh. But I think this demonstrates stuff about this game that are I just could not let go. I just could not bring myself not to show this, even though I had to do this awkward uh, commentary on my own play. Uh, but I guess we're going to put this one aside for right now. I appreciate you watching. Come back next time. Hear me be as clumsy as I am right now and see what happens. The gameplay is worth it. I promise you. I'll see you again soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you click on that picture of very young Waz, you'll be subscribed so you'll never miss another video. Then click on that bell notification button and please share and comment. See you again soon.